The pain you're putting families through, I hope you gently consider what you're doing to my family.
Powerful moments in New Haven tonight. The young daughter of a woman taken by ICE speaks to ralliers in New Haven. Thank you for joining us here at 10, everyone. I'm Stephanie Simone. ICE detained that mother as she took her kids to school this week. Tonight, her daughter made an impassioned plea to get her mom back. Your reporter Bryant Reed is live outside City Hall right now. Bryant.
Well, Stephanie, as you heard just there, emotional moments this afternoon. That girl is only 13 and her younger brother is just 8 years old. Their mom was pulled from them as she was taking them to school. Now protesters say that they want these ICE agents out of their neighborhoods.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
An outcry against federal immigration roundups.
Our message to ICE is clear. Leave our city. We don't want you in our schools. We don't want you in our places of worship. We don't want you in our hospitals. We don't want you in our streets.
Community leaders and immigration rights advocates gathered at New Haven's federal building to push back against ICE enforcement.
Again, the federal government is not keeping us safe. We have an obligation to keep ourselves safe. We have an obligation to keep our community safe.
Among them, a 13-year-old girl who saw her mom taken from her and her 8-year-old brother on Monday.
She's built a new life for herself and her kids. You're not just doing this to my family, you're also hurting other immigrant families.
She was taking them to school. Now she's detained.
We would do anything to see a smile on her face, see us succeed in life. However, we won't be able to do that.
A Meriden High School student also spoke at the rally. Her classmate, Kevin Rosero Moreno, is being held at an immigration facility in Texas. He and his dad were at an immigration hearing in Hartford when they were picked up. He was set to graduate yesterday. His classmates held a peaceful protest in his honor.
So having that empty chair at graduation was just a terrible reminder of what's going on in our country right now and what's going on in our own school system.
Impassioned pleas and calls to action filled New Haven streets as the sanctuary city is fighting to protect their own.
From LA to CT, ICE, you have to leave. ICE, you have to leave.
And meanwhile, Mayor Elicker was also at that rally. He sent out this quote afterwards saying, quote, "We condemn this deplorable act of family separation and call upon the Trump administration to stop its inhumane approach and cruel tactics that are disappearing people without due process and traumatizing our children and communities. Meanwhile, these protesters say that New Haven is a proud city of immigrants, and they will do whatever it takes to maintain and protect the sanctuary city title. For now, your reporter in the Elm City tonight, Brian Tweed, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
What's up, everybody? It's Danny from the Constitution State here today. I hope everybody's having a good day. So we're just going to start this off right here because there's claims that they're doing this to all immigrants. She only had a misdemeanor. No, she had 2 misdemeanors. She had assault third and breach of peace. And it says she's on the docket 4 times, which would mean that there's 2 more charges somewhere, but I can't seem to find them. So this wasn't just some law-abiding citizen. So this wasn't just some random person. As we've seen in Connecticut, it seems like they're going after people that are going to court or have open cases. Usually when we're covering New Haven, we're covering the biggest criminals out there, the New Haven Police Department. And for once, it's not them. You know, because they're usually known for abusing people, lying, breaking the law, stealing, and most of all, for the Randy Cox case, where they paralyzed him in transport, causing the largest police misconduct lawsuit in history. And there are tons of articles about this incident and the other incidents that have happened here in Connecticut. But what really blows my mind is the way people are actually going out and protesting this like something wrong has been done. Somebody that was in the country illegally, was committing crimes here, got detained, and is going to get deported. And all these people come out and protest that, right? But you don't see any of these same people when the cops are out there on a daily basis, committing crimes, hurting people, setting people up, violating civil rights. Where are all those same people then? They clearly don't care about or support the bigger picture. But then they turn around and want everybody to support what they're fighting, their cause. And they really try and make it seem like this mother was arrested during school drop-off. Not what happened. And it's so bad that she was arrested in front of her kids. This happens on a daily basis, hundreds of times a day. And nobody says a thing. It's cause and effect. You do something wrong, you're gonna get arrested. They don't not arrest you because your kids are there. And let's be honest, from the video, they really weren't all that bad. I mean, I don't agree with the way they do things. I don't agree with blocking the road with unmarked vehicles, violating our state laws just so they can apprehend somebody. I don't agree that they're not in costumes. I don't agree that they don't have their badges or name tags out. I don't agree that they don't tell the state about it and inform everybody else. It's kind of dangerous. Nobody put her in that position. Nobody put her kids in that position but her. And now we're all supposed to turn around and feel bad for her because she got caught, because she caught criminal charges and put her on their radar. President of the Los Angeles-based National Immigration Law Center said in a phone interview Thursday that ICE had been hyper-focused on meeting internal arrest goals. Stephen Miller, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, has pushed the agency to apprehend at least 3,000 people a day nationwide, which is just ridiculous. Do you know how many people that is a day? That's 57, almost 58 people a day per state. So each state would need to arrest 57.69 people to meet this 3,000 goal. But it's no problem at all when they set these drug sweeps, right? And they need to target so many drug dealers and get them off the street, right? Then it's acceptable. Then people have no problem with it. Are these people going to be coming out next supporting their local crack dealers, saying they don't belong to go to jail because they're selling crack to support their family? Are they going to come out and start supporting kid diddlers next? It's not like they were doing absolutely nothing wrong and they were just picked out of a crowd and they're being picked on. It appears the biggest factor in determining who to pick up is just ICE trying to meet its quotas. Mateo said, so as long as you're undocumented, you're subject to be targeted for arrest, detention, and deportation. Yes, so as long as you're in the country illegally, as long as you're violating any of our laws, you will be on their radar. But advocates and attorneys say recent arrests suggest that ICE has been targeting immigrants, often with no criminal history. Well, what does that matter, though? It doesn't matter if you have a history of committing crimes. If you're in the act of committing a crime, it shouldn't matter if you have a history of doing it or not. You're still doing it. When you're driving your car down the road, right, and you're speeding, does a cop type in your plate to see if you've been caught speeding before? And if you haven't, they just let you go? No. They come after you, they stop you, and they get you for speeding. Doesn't matter if you've done it before or if you have a history of it. Surveillance video provided by Mateos shows several unmarked vehicles boxing in Martinez car on Frank Street. One vehicle reverses down the road to block her from moving forward. Plainclothes agents, some wearing bandanas over their faces, according to Mateos, then approach Martinez's car and arrest her in the street. The officers did not present an arrest warrant, despite claiming to have one, Mateos said. And that's no different than anybody else, any other arrest we see on a daily basis. They add in the warrant thing as if anybody else that asks about a warrant gets shown a warrant. They don't show you, even if they have one. So it's no different. She didn't get treated any different. Martinez was ushered into one of the unmarked vehicles, which along with the rest of the fleet disappears from view a few minutes later, leaving her 2 children on the sidewalk with another adult. As of Monday afternoon, she was being held at the Wyatt Detention Facility in Rhode Island. And this is the detention facility here where she is, Donald W. Wyatt Detention Facility in Rhode Island. And this is comical. The arrest really speaks to, I think, the level of lawlessness and cruelty that ICE is engaging in on behalf of this administration. And I don't see really where they're coming from. I get that they're trying to pin it on the administration because instead of opening the borders and letting all these illegals in and entering the country illegally, they're shipping them out. And as everybody knows, I don't support red or blue. I think they're both gangs. So I'm not sticking up for the red gang. I'm just calling it as I see it. And then to try and use this to prove that ICE is lawless and casually cruel is just obnoxious. Because what did they actually do wrong here? Because I can't see it. Besides all the stupid stuff, besides being in plain clothes and unmarked and blocking up the roads, what did they actually do? They weren't rough with her. They weren't screaming at her. They got her and they got out of there. Yeah, her kids were there. That's not their fault. That's not anybody else's fault. Just like it's nobody else's fault that she's in that situation. But you never hear any of these other idiots, especially the state people, the reps and the selectmen and everybody else that's coming out and talking about this. Where are they on a daily basis when the police are abusing the citizens of this state? Where are they then? Nowhere. They're definitely not out speaking against it. They won't even respond to you. You, a taxpaying citizen who they're elected to work for, don't do nothing for you. But if you're an undocumented illegal immigrant, this is the lengths they'll go to. And it's funny that they don't talk about all the people that were hurt, robbed, and had things done to them during the last administration stretch, when they just opened the borders up and let everybody through, when they let thousands of criminals through, violent offenders, gang members through. They forgot to add that in though. State Rep Michael Quinn, Meriden, is also practicing defense attorney and has represented 4 clients taken into custody since February. One client was arrested for a DWI and unlawful discharge of a firearm. You know, minor things. Driving a vehicle wasted, shooting a gun. These are minor things. They shouldn't have been in trouble. They shouldn't be deported for things like this. Doesn't it sound retarded? Because that's really what they're implying. They shouldn't be charged for stuff like this. They shouldn't be deported for crimes like this. After negotiating a diversionary program for the client, he was detained by ICE at New Haven Superior Court. 2 other clients facing misdemeanor charges were apprehended at the Meriden Superior Court and a 4th client at the New Britain Superior Court. The later client was arrested on forgery charges and was accepted into an accelerated rehabilitation program. But as he left the courthouse, he was apprehended at his car. In all the cases prior to the current Trump administration, these are charges you would not have gotten picked up on, Quinn said, even in Trump 1. It doesn't matter if they're picking people up for it or not. If they're not picking people up for it, that just means that they're not doing their job. I don't understand how you could be an undocumented illegal immigrant, right? And get caught drinking and driving, get caught discharging a firearm, and not get deported. There's a problem with that. And yet he's spinning it, trying to make it seem like the problem here is that people are actually getting deported for these things now. Make it make sense. Quinn doesn't think that ICE is being tipped off, but that federal agents are monitoring dockets. He said that the increase in detentions has changed how he advises his clients. I tell them now, I can't guarantee that this isn't going to happen to you, Quinn said. Yeah, because before, he knew that they were so corrupt that he knew what was going to happen. He knew they weren't going to enforce the laws. And I'm not in any way implying that Trump isn't corrupt, but with him actually enforcing some of this stuff, now these guys don't know what's going to happen. They're not able to just know what people are going to be able to get away with. The Congresswoman said her office is prohibited from sharing specific communication with the family or actions being taken without a signed privacy release. U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal and U.S. Senator Christopher Murphy's offices said that they are also in contact with the family's lawyer and discussing next steps. State lawmakers also issued a statement of support, which again, this goes back to all these people are making such a big deal out of this. Something that someone did, knowing the repercussions, knowing the laws, and they're now getting held accountable. When's the last time you guys have heard these guys come out and call anybody out? When's the last time you've heard either of these guys come out and call any of the police in the state or any of the corrupt politicians on behalf of a citizen in an incident where they did something to them? I can't remember. I can't tell you. But I can tell you off the top of my head 10 incidents that have happened this year that I can think of that they should have. Do they really care about rights, treatment, what the police are doing, if they only speak out some of the times, or if they rarely speak out against it? Because right now it only appears like they're speaking out because it's the federal government. It's that gang doing it and not their own gang. It's somebody bigger than them, and they don't like it. Again, they're all going out of their way, and they're able to help, and they're able to do this and that for somebody that's not even a citizen of this country. But if you needed help tomorrow, if you got beat up by the cops tomorrow, and you wanted help holding them accountable, or getting it out, or going after them, these same people wouldn't do a damn thing for you. All these lawmakers and leaders of the community wouldn't even respond to you. This is the clown Elicker, Justin Elicker, the mayor of New Haven, who was the same mayor when they paralyzed Randy Cox. He was actually the same mayor when the police attacked me for doing nothing more than filming the police department. And it's weird to see him care so much about this, because when I emailed him to let him know what his police were doing, what they had done to me, 2 or 3 months after they did to Randy Cox, he wasn't concerned, but now he is. It must be because it was federal police and not his gang. Elicker said that they're trying to confirm that the woman was with her 2 children, ages 13 and 8, when the arrest by ICE occurred. If that is true, that is deplorable and inhumane, Elicker said. What's deplorable about it? What's inhumane about it? His cops, the New Haven cops, arrest people on a daily basis in front of their kids and do way worse things in front of their kids than simply arrest them. So clearly his words just mean nothing. He honestly can't feel like that if this is the first time he's bringing it up. If this is the first time it's an issue. And it's not an issue every single day before this. It's only an issue now. Elicker said that he has 2 children about those ages who would lose their minds if they saw their mother arrested in such a way. It would be beyond the pale, he said. Arrested in such a way. What does that mean? What way? Not being beat? Not being treated bad? And instead of putting it on who it should be on, which is her, she's the one that put herself and her children in this position. He's now putting it on the police, acting like they actually did something wrong or treated her badly just by the way he's wording it in such a way. It's beyond the pale. This dude's an idiot. Further, Elicker said ICE did not inform the city or the police department that the arrest would take place, which creates a danger for her, police, and ICE because the arrest could have been seen as an abduction by those who did not know what was occurring. It puts our officers and ICE at risk, he said, which I don't disagree with. But let's not pretend like Connecticut hasn't made it very known that it opposes these ICE raids. It opposes deporting people that need to be deported, that it would not be working with ICE. So I don't really think it's about the risk involved. I think he's just using that because he's butthurt that they weren't notified. Elicker, who did not name the woman, said that she had been charged in March with 3rd-degree assault following a conflict in which she and another person suffered minor injuries. He said the case remains pending. Yes, and she was also charged with breach of peace. And on top of that, it also says she's on the docket another 2 more times. But I don't think the mayor should be coming out and misrepresenting facts, as if she'd only been charged with one thing, trying to downplay what it is. The woman was taken and detained and her 2 traumatized children remained in the car, Lugo said. Lugo said that one of the children is autistic and keeps asking for his mother. He wants his mom, but there is no mom. Mom is sitting in jail, Lugo said. And they do all this just to try and pull on your heartstrings. Like it's the police's fault because this woman chose to put herself and her children in this situation. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for calling out the police when they do something wrong. But it's accountability all around. We can't blame them for something that's not their fault. For something that somebody else willingly did, knowing the consequences. Knowingly put their kids in that predicament. He wants his Bob, but there is no Bob. Bob is sitting in jail. Okay, and we're supposed to care when she didn't? And it doesn't end there, because now they want you to donate money. Lugo said the best way the public can help is money for legal representation. He said the detained woman does not have a lawyer at this time, and that all other state detainees end up in Texas. He's waiting to see if she ends up transferred to Texas, which he said would only add to the financial burden. Are illegal immigrants going to be now categorized with police? Are they now going to be looked at like sovereign citizens? Like the laws don't apply? Like they don't have to follow the laws? All over feelings? Because people don't think that that's right. Even though it happens every day on a daily basis all across this country, people are arrested in front of their kids. People are beat in front of their kids. And it doesn't matter, but it matters here. This is bad. This is inhumane. They sentence people every day in court to jail time. Anywhere from weeks to years to never coming home. Whereas everybody outraged about them people being separated from their kids. Oh, it's okay because they did something wrong and they need a punishment, right? So what's the difference here? That's all I would like to know. But I want to know where everybody else stands on this, because that's just how I look at it, and my interpretations to things change constantly. So I'd like to know what everybody else thinks. And I want to know what people think. Should the federal government not be deporting people that are here illegally if they're committing a crime? Because what they're not talking about is all the money that's wasted and lost, because most of these people don't even work legal jobs. They work under the table, so their money's not being taxed. So they're not giving anything back, but yet they get state insurance, they get food stamps, housing, our school systems. They get all of our perks and bonuses without contributing. And I find it weird that Connecticut and all these Democratic parties don't talk about that. They're not putting out the downsides. They're just acting solely like these people are here doing absolutely nothing wrong. And they're being attacked and targeted, which I just don't see happening. From everything I've seen, at least from here in Connecticut, it appears like all of these people were illegal. Most of them were actively committing crimes while here, but they don't talk about that. They downplay it and act like the crime. They're no big deal. They're just petty crimes. A crime is a crime is a crime. If you're speeding, you're going to get stopped and pulled over. Kids in the car or not. If you're shoplifting, they're going to stop you if you have your kids with you or not. You don't even have to commit a real crime. Commit an ordinance violation or a traffic infraction. They're stopping you. They're going to arrest you if they can. So let's stop acting like these people are being treated any different. So let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments. We'll talk about it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.